Sumter County commissioners not comfortable with sticking with AMR ambulance service. An Oxford woman was arrested on a drunk driving charge after drinking beer at Cody's Original Roadhouse in the Villages. Sandra Jewel Vilmer, who lives at 11213 Ross Way, was driving a red Nissan about 1:30 a.m. Wednesday on US 301 just south of Oxford Oaks when an officer noticed her headlights were not illuminated, according to a arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. She told the officer she had not been aware her lights was off. During the traffic stop, the officer noticed that Vilmer's eyes were bloodshot and that she was slow to respond when Vilmer told the officer she had been at Cody's in the Villages. Although the arrest report did not specify which location, she said she consumed approximately 4 8-ounce beers, with the last one being an hour before the interaction, the report said. She added she had driven from Cody's to the traffic stop without noticing her headlights were not activated. I'm hesitant to say that her story does not hold water because I was a Cody's fan. I went down there all the time. And as far as I know, other than bottled beer, which I don't think comes in 8-ounce sizes at all their beer comes in a glass at 16 ounces. Just saying. Well, let's see what's happening at Margaritaville again this week. A speeder was arrested on a drunk driving charge after leaving a popular night spot in the Villages. Philip Christopher Mitchell, 36, of Leesburg, was driving at 65 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone at 1:30 a.m. Saturday on U.S. Highway 27 and 441. During the traffic stop, the police officer noted that the Pennsylvania native had glassy, watery eyes and his speech was slurred. He said he had been drinking downtown in the Villages, where he consumed 4 picklebacks. Not sure what that is. According to the arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department, Mitchell struggled through field sobriety exercises and provided 2 breath samples, but both registered 0.127 blood alcohol content. A villager was arrested after alleged attacks on 2 people, including a man suffering from ulcerative colitis. William Robert Pruitt, 64, was arrested Tuesday night on felony charges of battery by strangulation, battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and abuse of a disabled adult. He was booked without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. Deputies were called to a domestic disturbance at the home in the village of Palo Alto. Pruitt was very irate when he emerged from the home's master bedroom and announced he was leaving. According to a arrest report from the Sumter County Police Office, a deputy told Pruitt he was not free to leave due to an active investigation which was in progress. "What are you going to do about it?" Pruitt asked. "They have the guns." The deputy detained Pruitt in the back of the patrol car. The man suffered from ulcerative colitis, said he currently weighs 115 pounds, down from 175 pounds 4 months ago. The disease weakens him and makes him frail. Ben Stein comes down with COVID-19, forcing a cancellation of his show and events in the Villages. To the editor, a renter sent in a letter to the editor about renters, but described them as snowbirds. I would like to respond to that letter. The letter said that the differentiation between homeowners in the Villages and renters are the snowbirds. That is not correct. There are many homeowners in the Villages who are snowbirds, and there are owners who rent their homes to snowbirds. The snowbirds are differentiated because they significantly increase the local population during the winter months. This increases the automobile traffic and affects wait times in restaurants as well as lines in stores. Renters are no less considered villagers than any other villager. It is just easier for some people to rent a property for a few months rather than buy a second home. That's sent in by Troy Ialusi, the village of Bel Air. Yes, I believe that's about true. The renters and snowbirds, they kind of intertwine each other, really. A snowbird basically is somebody that comes down to Florida, not just here, Florida, in the wintertime. Thus, snowbirds. They're getting away from the cold up north to come down here. Right? Common sense. Those are snowbirds. You can own property and still do that. Come down just in the winter. I was going to do that. That just seemed to me to be the good life for us because we had grandchildren and things like that. I was going to come down. I had a patio villa. It was paid for, and I intended to keep it and stay down here. I was figuring about 6 and 6, 6 months here, 6 months up there. That's what I was going to do until I started doing the math on the expenses of upkeeping 2 homes and all that. And we just decided we were just going to be full-time residents because I just didn't think I could afford to be a snowbird for a long period of time. I had to make a decision somewhere, and we just decided to do that. We just sold up there and moved down here full time. Got me a small motor home, and we want to go up north. We just take it. That's what we do. CDD 10 slams door on resident's request for accommodation for a big truck. Yes, he wanted to add on to his garage and make it wider and longer to accommodate a big truck. They said no because when they do that, they're opening the door for anybody else that wants to do that. And then it gets into a real problem of property rights and it's just a problem. So they just simply said no. Here's my suggestion. You bought a $500,000 house. You've got a $75,000 pickup truck. You can't add on to your house. Just buy a smaller truck. A suspect has been arrested in the theft of $3,500 worth of roofing tiles from a job. The theft occurred this past Saturday at a home under construction at 8051 Penrose Place at the Beaumont development on County Road 466A in Wildwood. The home is part of a KPL Villages LLC project. Nathaniel Luna Rodriguez, 34, of Leesburg, was spotted throwing the roofing tiles into the bed of his pickup truck, according to the arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. When officers approached Luna Rodriguez, he ran from the scene, leaving behind his pickup truck. Officers found $3,500 worth of bundles of roofing tiles in the bed of his truck. He left his truck and run. Officers investigating. Registration? Oh, here he is. This is where he lives. Let's just go get him. Believe it or not, those thefts happen all the time, and especially in the new construction area here in the villages. When I was a gate guard, we caught a guy in a pickup truck. He came in, and the camera showed him going in with nothing, and the camera going out showed him leaving with a refrigerator, a stove, and that might have been all. When the supervisor was noticed, they contacted Sumter County. Sumter County took the license plate, traced down. This all happened in a matter of an hour. Traced down the homeowner. They went out to his house and drove in the driveway and witnessed him unloading this stuff into his garage. Good thing some of these thieves are stupid. Officials contend apartment dwellers not paying a fair share in the villages. This goes to a lot of the other apartments too. There's a big debate over that. Apartment complex will drive more traffic onto Rolling Acres Road. Yeah, they've approved, I don't even know how many apartment complexes that surrounds the villages, from Wildwood to Lady Lake and even beyond, even over in Leesburg. They all come here too for the free entertainment and stuff. And it's amazing. Rolling Acres Road, especially in the winter months when snowbirds are here. And they're not just, this snowbird thing keeps getting thrown around like the villages is where all the snowbirds go. It's all over the state of Florida, from, just so you know. Leesburg has retirement communities. Ocala has a ton of retirement communities. Villages is in the Lady Lake area, kind of like Wildwood area. There's retirement communities here other than us. And it goes on. And so all of them are snowbirds. So, they all travel, they all go around, some of them are coming down, they check out different retirement communities while they're here. And that's all part of the traffic problems. And so Rolling Acres Road is one of them. An Oxford man on bond in a Christmas Day burglary has been arrested on a drunk driving charge. Michael Lee Arnott, 50, was driving a white Chevy pickup truck at 64 miles an hour in a 45 miles per hour zone shortly after 2 p.m. Wednesday on State Road 44 at Industrial Drive, according to an arrest report from the Florida Highway Patrol. He turned into the Parkwood community in Wildwood, where a traffic stop was initiated. Arnott claimed he had been traveling from his camper to his fiance's house. it appeared Arnott was impaired, and the trooper asked him to take part in the field sobriety. He complained he had a bad left leg. He performed poorly in the exercise. He refused to provide breath samples. He was arrested on driving under the influence. He was arrested and released on a $1,000 bond. Arnott had been free on bond following his arrest last month. A homeowner was holding Arnott at gunpoint when Sumter County Sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene of an alleged burglary. I reported that. That was a funny arrest. He burglarized, let's just say, the wrong house. A woman riding in a car with Pennsylvania license plates was arrested after a traffic stop at the village of Marsh Bend. Vicky Reimer, 51, of Wildwood, was traveling as a passenger in the vehicle at 1:44 a.m. Monday when it was pulled over for a traffic stop, according to an arrest report from the Wildwood Police Department. The Ohio native was found to be in possession of a glass pipe, and she admitted she used it to smoke cocaine. She was arrested in 2017 after admitting to smoking cocaine with a pipe. She was arrested on a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $2,500 bond. A villager with a big truck could face up to $500 fine for parking on the street in front of his home. The home at 1721 Mountville Court in the village of Sable Chase was the subject of a public hearing Friday morning in front of the Community Development District 6 Board of Supervisors. The home is owned by John Conway III. The first complaint about the truck was logged in September to community standards. Initially, the homeowner claimed the truck was there because work was being done to the interior of the home. However, another complaint was lodged because the truck was still there and the homeowner was not receptive. Conway has not responded to visits and calls from community standards, and they've argued more and more and more, and the board has voted unanimously to impose a $500 fine each time the truck returns to the location. It's a game they play. They'll park it there, and then they'll knock on the door and leave a note, and then it'll disappear for a week or two. My guess is he's an over-the-road driver, as I once was. He's gone for a while, and then he comes home, and that's where he parks it. And then he takes off for a while, then he comes home. That's why it's here and there, and he's gone for weeks at a time. They probably might say, well, it's a public street. He can park here legally. No, I don't know the circumstances here, and I don't want to say I do, but a lot of these neighborhood streets are zoned for non-commercial use. Now, other than a person coming by with a semi-load of furniture from up north, there's an exemption for that. I think it's 72 hours. They can actually park in front of a house. It's just like a motorhome or a camper. A resident, not a visitor, a resident can park a camper or motorhome off street in your driveway for up to 72 hours for loading and unloading only. You can't have somebody drop by your house for a week and plug in. I mean, somebody will complain, and there's all kinds of issues about it. So this guy cannot park that truck there. And I'm sympathetic to it because I was a driver. I understand. But no, we can't. He can't do that. Well, I've seen this guy before. The theft of a golf cart in the villages has been traced to a flooring installer. The black Club Cadet golf cart was stolen in November from the home on Kensington Place in the village of St. Charles, Nevada. Megan, 31, had been arrested November 16 when he was driving the stolen golf cart in Leesburg. At the time, it was not known that the golf cart was stolen. Megan was taken into custody on charges of possession of methamphetamine and possession of marijuana. He posted a $4,000 bond and was released the same day from the Lake County Jail. The golf cart was towed to an impound by Kling Towing. The Sumter County Sheriff's Office had already been investigating the theft of the golf cart. The golf cart's owner said the golf cart had been stolen from his $721,000 home. I don't know what that's got to do with the report at all. The golf cart owner said Megan had been in his home installing the laminate flooring. He said Megan was accompanied by his pink-haired wife, later identified as 32-year-old Amanda Spillane. The homeowner had Megan's cell phone, but Megan was not responsive. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So this is why I say if you're going to have homework done, go to a reputable business. Don't be hiring these people that drive around in their pickup trucks looking for work. You don't know who they are. And why take the chance when you get into a retirement community? Why take the chance? I don't look for necessarily the cheapest price. I look necessarily for companies that have good reputations, has an office that I can walk into if I have help, need help, or at least I try to. And I've never had a problem. Somebody come knocking on my door saying they want to talk to me about, I don't know, whatever. I let them know in a nice way. You're not allowed to solicit in the villages. Everybody should know that. I'm going to ask you to leave right now before I call the village watch people to come out here and tell you to leave. And that's what I do. And I have never had a problem. This is just a quick little thing about the construction up on 441. That's where we're giving out all the tickets. So I just read a few about doing 65 mile an hour and a 45 mile an hour zone and things like that. There's always in that construction zone up there. There were a report says 12 crashes in the past 2 weeks in the construction zone on 27 and 441. Be very careful up there. A human smuggling suspect nabbed on Interstate 75 in Sumter County attempted to convince law enforcement he was taking 4 illegals on a beach vacation. Eric Daniel Romo Gonzalez, 27, was driving a white 2007 Cadillac CTS on Thursday morning southbound on I-75 when he was pulled over for suspiciously tinted windows. A traffic stop was initiated near mile marker 314 at Bushnell. The Cadillac, which had Texas license plates, had 3 adult males in the back seat and 1 in the front passenger seat. An interpreter was called to scene after Romo Gonzalez indicated his primary language is Spanish. Romo Gonzalez said they were headed for the beach. The passengers were less specific, but indicated they were sightseeing. Receipts from various locations in Texas, Louisiana, and Alabama on successive days were found in the vehicle. Additionally, the clothing and personal effects of the occupants in the vehicles were not consistent with a beach vacation, you think? A Border Patrol agent was called to the scene, and it was confirmed that Romo Gonzalez previously had been arrested for illegal entry to the United States. He admitted he knew the 4 passengers were illegal in the United States. Romo Gonzalez was arrested on 4 counts of human smuggling. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $40,000 bond. You know why they keep doing it over and over again? They're not scared of any penalty that we're going to impose on them. A woman nabbed with alleged drug dealing ledger told police she only sells to friends. Kimberly Sue Varnum, 41 of Wearsday, was a passenger in a gold Kia van that was pulled over at 12:16 a.m. Thursday at Dixie Avenue and Miller Boulevard in Fruitland Park. The van had a license plate that had been assigned to another vehicle. The driver claimed the van belonged to his father-in-law, and he had no idea about the registration problem. A K-9 unit was summoned to the scene, and the dog alerted on the vehicle. A search of the van turned up a blue duffel bag and a red backpack. The items contained fentanyl, methamphetamine, alprazolam, and syringes. Also found in the backpack was a notebook and several bills of U.S. currency. The notebook had a page which listed debts along with slang terms for drugs. Barnum told police she only sells to friends. I guess that makes it legal. I don't know. Solar power may not be up to snuff for illuminating tunnels in the villages. It could be. I have noticed that some of the tunnels, even at night, seem a little darker than other tunnels. So some of the tunnels they've been painting with some kind of a reflective type paint, and it illuminates the light better. And I assume that's what they're going to do probably with most of them, as each district approves that, and they can pay for it. Speaking of that, though, it's very possible in the near future here, I may have a solar expert as a guest on the WNL show to explain the pros and cons of solar at a personal residency. Some of these articles here, I'm not reading them because we talked about them on the WNL show. Let's see the latest update on a villager's young Filipino wife. She's been arrested 2 or 3 times now, and I think this is another one. Somebody needs to adopt her. A villager's fugitive ex-wife is back in custody after using a shopping cart to shatter a plate glass window at an H&R Block office. Jenny Lynn I can't pronounce it. Frazier, 33, was booked Thursday at the Lake County Jail after forfeiting her bond earlier this month in a case in which she had been charged with attacking her much older husband with a golf club at their home in the Villages. She is facing a felony charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. While she was on the run, apparently she was spending time in Orlando. Frazier, a native of the Philippines, reportedly used a shopping cart to completely shatter the front window of an H&R Block tax office at 4084 West Town Center Boulevard in Orlando, according to the arrest report of the Orange County Sheriff's Department. She told deputies that H&R Block owed her money. A Village of Monarch Grove woman has escaped convictions on a drunk driving charge after hitting two parked cars last year in Brownwood. Marie Annette Beschler, 57, entered a plea of no contest last week in Sumter County Court to a charge of reckless driving, reduced from the charge of driving under the influence. She has been placed on probation for 1 year and ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. She will get to keep her driver's license. That's good. A woman has completed anger management training after a brawl with her two sisters at a World of Beer location in the Villages. Melody Jean Smalley, 24, of Lady Lake, earlier this month presented proof of completion of a 4-hour anger management course, according to the documents on file in Sumter County Court. She also completed an alcohol evaluation. The completions will enable Smalley to avoid prosecution of 2 counts of battery. Pimlico Recreation Center and Family Pool will be closed. Golf retailer moves into former home of Villages golf cars at Colony Plaza. Villagers can apply to show off their talents at Spring Craft Show. I haven't been to that in many years, but that used to be super popular. The craft show, all craft shows, they have some of Spanish Springs at certain times of year, and they have the Spring Craft Show. Actually, the last Spring Craft Show I went to was where it was setting was where now Colony Shopping Plaza is at. There was nothing there at the time. It was just an open field, and they had it in there, and it was super, super popular. A lot of people going to it. Lake Meona pickleball courts will be closed. El Santiago Recreation Center bocce courts will be closed. Say hi to our good buddy there, Mr. Rohan. Can't seem to get anything done. Just a puppet around here. They tell him what to do. He jumps. An 81-year-old villager was arrested after a golf cart crash at Colony Plaza. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies were called to investigate the crash involving 2 golf carts at 1:56 p.m. Friday at Colony Boulevard and Sembler Way, the busy intersection where Walgreens and Bob Evans are located. Roderick Bose of the village of Hadley was standing near his golf cart when deputies arrived on the scene. He did not understand basic questions such as the area code for his phone number. And the deputy could smell the odor of an alcohol beverage emitting from his person while at conversational distance. The Quebec, Canada native agreed to participate in field sobriety exercises in a nearby parking lot at Colony Cottage Recreation Center. He performed poorly. Posey was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. Sumter County Sheriff's Office is looking for help from the public in the search of a thief who stole a woman's purse from the Dunkin' Donuts restaurant in the Villages. The theft occurred December 7 at Dunkin' Donuts at Colony Plaza. The suspect was seen picking up the purse and leaving the patio area. She got into a black 4-door vehicle, which was parked in front of the restaurant. The woman returned a few hours later to the Dunkin' Donuts and handed the employee a plastic bag with some of the contents of the purse. The woman appears to be possibly 65 to 75 years old. Anyone with information is asked to call Detective Martin at 352-793-2621 or to remain anonymous, contact Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. Showcase of Talent raises $5,000 to support Opera Club of the Villages. A man with a history of arrest was jailed after an alleged attack on a woman in the Villages. Michael Joseph Dumwalo, 42, was jailed without bond Saturday after he was arrested on charges of battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, and depriving use of 911 following an alleged attack on the woman at his home at 212 Montoya Drive in the village of Rio Ponderosa. Dumwalo is already on probation, a felony probation, as a result of a 2019 drug arrest. The Philadelphia, Pennsylvania native violated his probation May 3, 2021 by smoking crack cocaine, according to the document report from Sumter County Court. Cocaine showed up in a urine sample. Dumwale admitted the drug use prior to providing the sample. Dumwale's admission prompted the probation officer to recommend leniency with regard to the violation. Dumwale promised it would not happen again. I promise I won't. A speeding sex offender from Ohio was arrested on a drunk driving charge in Lady Lake. Patrick Sean Campbell, 28, of Fruitland Park, was driving a truck at 3:05 a.m. Friday, northbound on U.S. Highway 27 and 441, when he was caught on radar traveling 65 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone, according to the arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. Campbell, who was convicted in 2013 of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor in Richland County in Ohio, struggled to maintain balance during a field sobriety exercise. He refused to provide breath samples. He was arrested on charge of driving under the influence and booked without bond at the Lake County Jail. His no bond status was due to a violation of his sex offender probation. New owner promises better days ahead for original hotel in the Villages. That's La Hacienda Hotel. It's a shame because back when Spanish Springs was the only square, there was no other square. Sue and I had stayed in that hotel because every room that we stayed at was like a suite. You had like a kitchen area. You had like a couch over there in that kitchen area. And then you had your bedroom area. And then I believe the rooms that we had also had a balcony type area, because in between that hotel and the Holiday Inn that was next door to it, Holiday Inn Express, there was like a little park-like setting in there for the visitors, the people that were staying there. And it was very, very nice. We never had a problem there, ever. The rooms were always very clean. And we could call the woman that run the place, and she was very accommodating to us. And so to see it turn into what it's turned into over the years is very depressing for me and Sue. Wildwood approves 20-acre family housing project near a village of Finney. A 206-unit luxury rental complex just outside the Coleman city limits was given the green light Monday night by the Wildwood City Commission. Commissioner approved a comprehensive plan amending the zoning change from agricultural to medium-high density residential for a 20-acre family housing project, which is south of the village of Finney along U.S. Highway 301 and Bingham Trail. A Spruce Creek South resident was arrested after allegedly hurling a gay slur in an attack to another man at Margaritaville. Margarita Republic. I keep saying Margaritaville. I'm sorry, that's wrong. It's Margarita Republic at Spanish Springs Town Square. It's on the corner right there. A lot of trouble there. Noah Michael Danley, 30, was arrested at 6:30 p.m. Monday at his job at the Batteries and Bulb store at Village Crossroads in Lady Lake. Apparently he insulted somebody and he smacked him in the face, and the guy called the police and had him arrested. Oh, here's our favorite Filipino. Let's see what's going on with her now. This is another day. I'm skipped another day from when I reported. So she went from one day, that trouble I just reported. This is the next day. The villager's ex-wife is in more trouble after an alleged attack on a female cellmate. Jenny Lynn, I can't pronounce that, Frazier, 33, continues to be held at the Lake County Jail. She has been charged with attacking her much older ex-husband with a golf club in the Villages. Frazier was also arrested on a felony charge of allegedly using a shopping cart to smash a glass window at H&R Block Tax Preparation Office in Orlando. The native of Philippines was transferred Thursday from Orange County Jail to the Lake County Jail after skipping a mandatory court date earlier this month in Lake County Court. On her first day in Traverse facility, Frazier was placed in a cell with an inmate who was detoxing, according to an arrest report from the Lake County Sheriff's Office. A jailer heard screaming and found Frazier, who stands 5'2" tall and weighs 110 pounds, hitting the fellow inmate's head against the wall. Frazier had warned the woman prior to the attack that she had better let her sleep through the night or she would beat her ass. Oh, gosh. I'd say this lady's got an anger problem. Coconut Cove Recreation Center and pool will be closed Friday, our old neighborhood. Chula Vista Recreation Center and pool to be closed Monday. Historic tree could die after severe mauling at 7-Eleven job site in the Villages. Yeah, I've got a feeling that was done on purpose, and they're just claiming stupidity on the whole thing. That tree was a historic tree. They were going to cut it down to build this 7-Eleven, but somehow, I don't know how it all happened, but anyway, they decided it was a historical tree, and it was protected. So they weren't allowed to mess with this tree. And now all of a sudden 7-Eleven is starting a construction project up where they're tearing down an old building so they can build a new 7-Eleven. And this tree, and you'll see a picture of it, is totally destroyed. So now they've decided they're going to call in an arbiter, is that what you call them? A tree person. And they're going to look at to see if the tree can recover from its damages. If so, then they're going to try to save it. I'm looking at this picture. You look at it. Put it in the comments below. What do you think? I don't think so. I think it's gone. I think the best thing for this tree now is to cut it out and put a severe fine on the construction company whose employee done this. Bear sightings reportedly on rise in southern end of the Villages. Well, of course. I mean, we're building on their territory. I mean, I'm just as guilty as the rest of them. All these houses here we are running the wildlife out. I know a lot of people don't care about wildlife. They always say they'll find somewhere else to go. No, they won't. You're sitting where they lived. You're sitting where they hunt. You're sitting where they eat. And so now your backyard's it. And there's nothing back there for them either. So in a lot of ways, I tell you, I'm really sympathetic toward the wildlife and what's going to happen to them. 1,000 manatees last year died because the sea lettuce that they live on, for some reason, is dying out. Well, we're doing it. Humans are doing it. I don't know how we're doing it. I don't know what we're polluting. I don't know what we're stealing. People might be going out there with a knife and cutting the sea lettuce by the pounds to eat it because you can't eat it, and leaving the manatee with nothing. I find that hard to believe, but it could be. I don't know. Anytime there's a problem, if you look to the ultimate problem there, it's us, humans. Let's see about our commissioner's court case. There's still something about this whole thing that stinks to me. I can't put my finger on it. There's just something here there's something up. An attorney for Sumter County Commissioner is seeking a dismissal in his client's perjury case. Commissioner Orrin Miller is resident in the village of Sanibel. Was arrested last year on charges of perjury. Miller has been charged along with Commissioner Gary Search. Both men have been suspended from their commissioner's position by Governor Ron DeSantis. Miller's attorney, Doc Blanchard, is disputing the evidence in the case. Alleged phone calls between Miller and Search. There is absolutely no evidence that even if the calls were made, what the calls were about, Blanchard wrote in the motion for dismissal. In March, the Office of State Attorney for the 5th Judicial Circuit received 2 citizen complaints alleging Florida Sunshine Law violations during Sumter County Commission meetings. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is all alleged. A villager was jailed after allegedly putting a man in a headlock during an altercation at a home on the historic side of the Villages. Todd Michael Conroy, 56, who lives at 525 St. Andrews Boulevard, was arrested at 1:40 p.m. Sunday in the vicinity of Page Place and Caballero Court near La Plaza Grande. La Plaza Grande is a shopping center next to Spanish Springs. A man said he had been attacked that morning and the previous night by Conroy, according to an arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. He said Conroy put him into a headlock and pushed him to the ground. He said Conroy began to bang his head on the ground several times. The next day, the man was seated in a chair when Conroy became angry and put his hands around his neck. Conroy attempted to bang his head once again. Conroy fled the home before police arrived. The man had suffered visible injuries to his left elbow and fresh red marks around his neck. Officer found the Illinois native and placed him under arrest on a charge of domestic battery. He was booked at Lake County Jail and released after posting a $1,000 bond. Some of these old people down here are nuts. Well, I believe that's going to be it. I get out of here and get this thing edited. Hope you guys enjoyed WNL. Hope you enjoyed our guest, Jim Stipes, the gutter guy. Good guy. Got a good crew of people work for him, too. I highly, if you want gutters and organic attic stairs, I highly recommend them. They do quality work. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here and just let me say, don't leave your keys in a golf cart. I just read it where it got stolen by a guy from Leesburg. He took it. It happens. Don't leave your keys in a golf cart. Don't leave any personal effects in your golf cart. I don't care if you're only going to be gone for a second. They always say that. I was only in there for a second. Nobody's anywhere for a second. You're in there probably for several minutes. When you're driving a car through our roundabouts, be careful. And remember, nothing good happens after midnight. That being said, see you guys on the other side.